So hey you guys, I'm gonna be showing you guys how I make my wig sitting down. It started off with a regular wig making video, but I wanted to make a video of me sitting down because I work so much more faster and I feel like I get more done and I'm more comfortable when I'm sitting down. And I'm gonna be using my hair, and this was a 5x5 lace closure, so I'm just showing you guys the closure and how everything looks and all the products that I'm using. I'm using a cup, a knife, and a plastic bag. Things that you can find in your house, all household items that can be thrown away. I hate washing dishes and stuff, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take my mixture. Make sure you guys make sure your mixture of your bleach and developer is more of a cake batter butter consistency. You want it to be thick but not too thick to where it's dry. And that's how the lace was looking after everything had developed. Because this closure has small knots and is very pre-plucked well, it does not take much for majority of the knots to turn. And I did use Dawn dish detergent to wash out the bleach and stuff because it does have that blue tone to it, which is great for helping it color correct and lift all the orangeness that may come from the bleach. Even though we did use color corrected bleach, I still like to use color corrected products to shampoo the hair to give it that skin like, and it won't be so brassy, even though it's not going to be brassy anyway because of the bleach we use. If you use like 7 stages type bleach, that bleach will give you brassy undertones, but if you use a color corrected bleach such as blue or purple, you will get perfect tones. Where I like to start making my wigs, I like to start in the middle and go down to each side. And every time I start a new thread, I like to make a tie with the thread. So I would take the needle and go inside of the thread and pull it out, and that'll make a knot. And then the way I like to sew is I will make a loop and put the needle through the loop, and that'll be like tying the thread around the closure. That's why we say hand tied wigs, because you're basically sewing, not you're just sewing in a knot motion. So every time you sew, you're making a knot. See right here, I'm starting again. So I put the needle through the closure, and as you can see, I'm putting the needle through the thread, and that is going to create a knot. So you shouldn't have no construction issues when it comes to my units with like loose threads or anything, because everything is literally tied. So you shouldn't have any loose threads or any loose like tracks or closures if you try this method. I know some people sew differently and they just go loopy all the way around, but when you tie it like this, it comes out, you get a better hold with your units. And I'm going to be using my bundles as well. So this whole wig is provided by me. The bundles, the closure, everything is UniqueBeauty, and the closure is 12 inches. It's a 5x5 transparent lace, pre-plucked small knots, everything. And the bundles are 16, 16, and a 12. And my bundles are so full, you guys. I didn't even use the whole bundle, so technically this was 2.5 bundles, and it's full still, and it's super great. I just love this hair because you can do so much with it. And I'm only going to be carrying straight hair and not body wave hair, because my straight hair holds just as much as a good of a curl as the body wave hair, if not better. And I did the same thing when I started off with that bundle. That first bundle went down, I tied a knot at the end of at the beginning of the track. So every time I start a needle, I put that needle through the thread to make that a knot. And as you can see, I keep doing the loop loop tie, and you're gonna go through the thread and it's basically tying the thread around the track and the weft of the cap. Not the weft of the cap, the the fabric of the cap. Yes, I am using a blonde thread to start my wig off. And you can do this. I would say your first two needles can be blonde thread, but after that you want to start using black thread because you don't want to be able to see the blonde thread throughout the wig. And this is a good way like to save on threads because this thread was already made and I did not feel like making another one, so I was like, I'm gonna just use this blonde one anyway. And in the end you won't even be able to see it or tell that a blonde thread was used. So yeah, that's why I say like the first two threads you can use blonde if you need to, but make sure the rest is black. And when I do the flip over method for my first two bundles, and all you like when it comes to flipping the bundle, all you have to do is just make sure you have to sew down on that part as many times as you need to make it flat. And that's how I normally do it. I'll probably go over the one area maybe 2 or 3 times and it'll be flat in that space, and then I'll just continue to sew on the rest of the tracks with that loop tie, hand tie method. And sometimes you can create a space in the that's too big, and as you can see I just went back over it, and I'll eventually do it again and call it out. Always remember these things when you're making a wig. When you start at the bottom on the rim part, do not sew through that thick piece. You want to go through the fabric that's on top because that will cause shrinkage in your wig, and it takes away the stretchiness from the dome cap. And make sure you do not go sew through those 2 seams that go down the cap. Do not sew through those at all because that is the stretchiness in your wig, and if you sew through those, your wig will not fit properly. The first time I ever made a wig, I sewed through those seams and my wig was fitting like a hat. Like it was too small, too tight, and it wasn't comfortable, and the wig was just too small for my head. And I eventually took it apart and fixed it. And yeah, just those sew through the seams, the 2 seams going down the middle of the cap. And for every flip over method, I do the same thing. I just flip the track over and sew it down in that one space a couple times, and then it'll be flat, and keep going. This is the first bundle sold down, all nice and everything, and I'm just loving it so far. And here we are with the second 16-inch bundle, no cut. And as you can see, I'm putting that needle through the thread again to tie that knot. So when you first even start, it's already a knot tied on the beginning of the track. And I'm just gonna go through and sew, and eventually I got sick of standing up, so I'm gonna finish this unit sitting down. %, of my wigs are all made sitting down. I hate standing up when I'm making a wig. I am a heavy girl and my feet cannot take it. And I feel like it's better on your back and on your feet if you sit down, and you get more done faster while you're sitting down. Like, I realized when I started sitting down making wigs, my wigs were getting done way faster, and I could get more done because I'm able to watch, or watch a YouTube video on how to grow up my business, or watch a tutorial on how to perfect my craft. So I was like killing two birds with one stone. And I'm sitting down, like I said, which is better on my body. So if you stand up making wigs, girl, sit down. Join the rest of us grannies. Y'all remember the old ladies who used to sit down and knit all the time? That's exactly what this is. It's just new age knitting, and instead of knitting clothes, we're knitting wigs. Because I literally was like the other day, this is how all those old women used to sit down and have that whole knitted whatever they was making. They'll have it done in like a couple hours. I can guarantee you work faster sitting down. Some people do draw lines on their wigs to provide a guide, but once you start to get the hang of it, you literally don't even have to draw the lines, because you already know where each track is going to go and the pattern that you're going to already take. When you start to make wigs, it's just something that gets embedded in your brain. And that was the second bundle sold down, and this is the third bundle. And I do cut the third bundle in half, and I do single track the third bundle. I do not do double tracks when I'm using the third bundle, because you want the top to be flat as possible. And of course, I went ahead and started that track with a knot. And I'm just gonna go ahead, put the needle through and make sure it's coming through the thread, and you will be doing a hand tie motion all the way around. And you literally want to do the hand tie motion throughout your whole wig, so none of your tracks could slip off or come off easy. Like, all of my hand constructed units get great reviews. Even a girl who I know make wigs told me I make wigs better than her. That is amazing when somebody who make wigs can tell you, oh, your shit better than mine. That is a great thing. That's how you know you doing, your thug thizzle. And right here, I did flip the track in the middle of the back of the head because I didn't want the sides to be full and not have anything in the back at the top right there. So the way I had the tracks placed, the sides were full, but the middle part would have had a big space. So to fill that space in, I'm just gonna go in with that same track and hand tie that there, and then I'll be able to go around and be at the top, and it'll place me where I need to be without having a big space in the middle of the back of my wig. And then I'll be able to put the other tracks down in their place with no problem. And sometimes you do go off the normal way you would make a wig, but long as it's all about the result. It's not about how you get there, it's about the end result, because every wig does not get made the exact same way, but the results are always the same. I also went ahead and took a track and measured it around the closure, because that part gets cut as well. So the third bundle gets cut twice. The first time it gets cut in half, and the last time it gets cut for that small piece to go around the track to cover up the edges of the closure. And here I am on the last piece making a knot, and that is the last piece that gets cut, and that is going to make everything seamless, so the track can definitely meet up with the edges of that closure, and everything is going to flow so nice. And yeah, you guys, this is me in my room making a wig. I made this wig in maybe I made it in a couple, 2 or 3 days, because I was lollygagging. But this wig probably would have took me 3 hours to make on a good day. And please watch how you cut off the excess cap. You don't want to cut any of the threads you just sewed down. You will be super pissed. I've never had this problem before, but you will be mad knowing that you just messed up all the hard work that you just did. So make sure you watch how you cut that excess cap off. And I'm just going in with some mousse. This is the Dollar Tree Salon. Well, not the $1.25 tree. It's not the Dollar Tree anymore. And this is Salon Selective Mousse that can be found at the $1.25 tree. And this mousse is amazing to layer lace or to just get your hair laid. And this is the Kwanzaa Collection wax stick, and I'm going to be using my hot comb on the highest setting, which is 450, to go ahead and mold my middle part into the wig. So the Salon Selective mousse and a wax stick go great together, and I like this mousse because it's only $1 and it gets the job done. And this mousse is great for glueless installs or if you need to mold your wig down, because it is super sticky. I know this video is already kind of long, but I had to edit down so much footage, you guys. But always make sure you need to go over certain areas as many times as possible, because YouTubers do not show you the real time and how many times they go over shit. That stuff be edited out. And I do the same, because who wants to see somebody repeatedly hot comb the same spot for 20 times? But I'm just going in with my Kwanzaa Collection wax stick and my Fantasia setting spritz, and I'm gonna go over that with my hot comb, and I'm just taking pieces of the closure and using them to cover the tracks for a seamless look. And like I said, you will have to use your hot comb to get this super flat and seamless, and go over as many times as you need. And right here I had a little thread sticking out, so I just tucked it under the track and went back to doing what I was doing. And like I said, you want to part out all the pieces around the perimeter of the closure to cover the tracks. Go over them with the wax stick and the hairspray and mold them down with the hot comb for a seamless look. And I'm just going to repeatedly go throughout the closure with the wax stick and the hairspray and the hot comb to flatten everything out, because you do not want speed bumps in your wig. So I'm just molding everything down with those products. And also, if you have a board bristle brush, make sure to try to incorporate the board bristle brush into your styling, because it really is a great brush when it comes to brushing the products throughout the hair. And as you can see, I'm using the Fantasia to melt that hair back, and as you can see, the hairline is flawless. And this was pre-plucked. I did no additional plucking to this closure. All of my lace comes pre-plucked like this. Well, all of the transparent lace. I do have like brown lace closures 4x4, and these transparent laces come so great, you guys. It's super plucked, and it's like you don't have to do anything but bleach the knots. And if you want to be over plucked, you can. As you can see, it is so seamless. And make sure you guys cover your back tracks. And I like to go back in and push some of the hair forward that's in the back, so you can see some of the lace, and that gives it more of a scalp look too. So that was the look, just body wave, regular texture. And I went in with my curling iron to get these Shirley Temple curls, and that is a mist heat protector spray, some Fantasia for a hold. And I'm just gonna go in and use this curling iron to do all the curls. Everybody should have this curling iron. You can get it out the dollar store. And it's by Conair. It's the 1.5-inch barrel, I believe. And remember, you guys, I used the Conair flat iron in my last video. When I tell you Conair products go hard in the paint and they last for a long time, y'all. I really love Conair hot tools. Like, Conair need to sponsor me or something, because I really be using all these products in my video. So yeah, get you a Conair flat iron or hot curler. Everybody have this this curling iron. It's a great one. And yeah, you can find them at Dollar General, I believe. And I'm just using this to create the curls throughout my wig, and I'm curling away from the face. Make sure you guys add me on Instagram at UniqueBeauty333, the same as the YouTube channel name. And please subscribe to my channel. Even if you don't subscribe, give me a like, give me a comment. If you hate the wig, comment that you hate it. If you think I did great, comment that you think I did great. My posts need all the interactions that it could get, so other people who may need it could see it. But please make sure you guys do your part and help me get to where I'm trying to go. And thank you so much for watching my video. And then I just went in with some Got To Be hairspray for an extra hold, and I'm just gonna go in with this vent brush and brush the curls out, because we do not want to look like we're 5 years old with these whole Shirley Temper curls. You can go out and let your hair fall on its own. Your curls will last longer, but no. And I'm going to be using some oil sheen. A key to a good everlasting hairstyle is hairspray and products that you use on the hair in perfect weather. Louisiana is very humid, so your curls will probably last you about an hour or two on weave and 30 minutes on natural hair. And when I tell you our hair be so frizzy out here, y'all, Louisiana is just too humid. So if you live in humid weather, up it up on the hairspray, because your curls will be poofy in 2 minutes without the spray. And I'm just going in, and I'm going to go back and forth between the comb and the brush and just trying to mold the hair into the way I want it to go. And like I said, take as much time as you need and go over how many times you need to go over these certain parts. I went over these both sides like at least 1,000,000 times that I had to edit out and to get the desired results. So don't give up. Always keep going, and just keep going until you get the look that you're looking for. Once again, you guys, this hair was provided by Unique Beauty. 2.5 bundles of 16, 12-inch with a 5x5 pre-plug transparent lace closure, also in 12 inches. If you guys need any lace or bundles, please head over to my website and check me out, please. It will be linked below. And like I said, I won't be carrying body wave, because body wave is basically straight hair steamed into a body wave. It's all the same thing. It's just manipulated into that texture, and really my straight hair holds just as well of a curl. And if you don't believe me, go look on my Instagram and see the reviews. The hair holds a great curl. And if you need closures, frontals in New Orleans, Louisiana area, you can hit me up as well. If you need something instant, I do always have wigs, ready-made wigs on hand, and hair on hand as well, and lashes. The final steps that I like to take on my wig is taking some mousse and putting it all over the top to lay down some flyaways and to get rid of that white cast the hairspray leaves.